It is the midweek edition of Racing to Win as we have a look at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Another 9-race program coming up this week at the City Circuit. Joined in the studio to preview it all today by Paul Lully and Nick Child. And Nick, what can we look forward to on Wednesday night?
Well, yeah, good afternoon, Mark. And look, I think there's a couple of really nice races to conclude the card. Races 8 and 9 look to be very competitive, some good chances amongst them. And yeah, they might just take a little bit of working out, I reckon. All
right, we'll be previewing those races on the show. What about jackpots, Paul?
Yeah, there's just the one. It's a triple trio jackpot of 2 million. So that should get up to 4 million we're expecting for that particular bet type. And always a popular one and very hard to get, as we know.
Is indeed. And before we go on with the show and look at the meeting at Happy Valley, we're going back to the trials at Sha Tin this morning. There were some big names on show on the All Weather. The first trial featured Golden 60. Not only him, but a number of horses headed towards the Classic Cup, including Beautyverse and Tuchel. But we do start the show with Golden 60's trial. What you don't see in this is Flagship Warrior. He misses the start quite badly. Just outside the 400-metre mark. He's half a length over Naboo Legend Tuchel. Winning Dragon Bonza Perla, Golden 60 wider out from G-Liner. Victory Moments, 300 metres to go. Leads a length and a half over Naboo Legend Tuchel. He's third from Winning Dragon Bonza Perla and Golden 60 under a good hold, allowed to run on under his own steam. Victory Moments leads. Tuchel's gone into second spot. Then Naboo Legend and Golden 60, but Victory Moments wins the trial. Beat Tuchel, Naboo Legend, and then Bonza Perla, Golden 60 and Flagship Warrior darting through strongly late, followed by Beautyverse, Winning Dragon, SJ Torby and Sweet Encounter, and G-Liner is the last one home. There's plenty in there we could talk about, Nick, but Golden 60, the focus. He actually jumped really well. He was first out of the gates.
He was, yeah, no, he was very good. And look, just a nice maintenance trial for him. And look, he strode out really well, Paul, and I'm sure Vincent was happy.
Yeah, just did what he had to do, didn't he? Same as Tuchel, really. He hit the line strongly. And as you said at the start, Flagship Warrior, he missed the start and he ran on well. But he was probably the one that was pushed most of all those horses.
He missed the start by a good 2 or 3 lengths. Speaking of starts, Paul, Super Sunny Singh, it was like his debut all over again where he went off in the barriers. He did it again, and they actually took him out and vetted him. Fortunately, the horse and Vincent were okay, and this is what he did. Then Juno Flash and 3 lengths away, Hyper Dragon Ball from La City Blanche, and then came Circuit 9. Tiger Legend, Tatnam ridden up on his outside. Further forward's going okay, but is in a pocket from So Awesome chased along. Then Unpresuming and Juno Flash. The leader is still Tiger Legend. He's a length in front of So Awesome. Unpresuming is wider out. Tiger Legend grabbed by So Awesome and Unpresuming. And So Awesome and Unpresuming hit it together from Tiger Legend in a lineup further forward. Juno Flash, Thunderbolt Taurus running on out wide. Super Sunny Singh. And also there La City Blanche from Circuit 9 Tatnam. So there he is, Paul Super Sunny Singh. La City Blanche hard ridden too. It was 1200, so it was too short for both of them.
Yeah, exactly. He's trained for 18 now, isn't he, Super Sunny Singh? You can see him raced pretty good after the line, though. If you, just when we replayed that, he sort of hit the post. He kept going, so he had a decent workout.
He certainly did, and it was another in that trial. He didn't. I don't think he beat any home in the end, but Thunderbolt Taurus, Hugh Bowman exactly the same. Took an age to pull him up. They went right round into the back straight. So, yeah, certainly 2 nice trials there.
All right. There you go, as far as what happened at Sha Tin on a Tuesday morning. Straight into Wednesday night now, and it is over the midpoint of the season. It is meeting 45, and we race on the Seacourse. The 9 races get underway at the usual start time for a nice 9-race program at 6:45, and the 2 races we preview, the 2 highest grade races of the night, the Class 3s over the 1200 and 1650 metres. Race number 8 has California Sybil, beaten on protest last time, carries an extra 5 pounds. Red Line comes back in trip. Nem Jong Sings wears a tongue tie again. Winning Icy, an extra 5 pounds on his back for that last start, second behind Jolly Ruler. Lucky 8, best draw at Happy Valley. Solid Impact has won a trial since we last saw him. Dinkum, first look at the 1200 metres around the valley. Savvy Chic, a wider draw, and Smoky Bear goes from the 1,000 out to the 1200 metres this week, Nick. As we have a look at the speed map now, and there is a lot of pace in this race, expected to be good, but a few of these do like to go forward.
Yeah, they certainly do. Hero Star, most notable, I suppose. Look, he's drawn in 9, but he's got brazen early speed, and I'm sure he'll get to the front with minimal fuss. Look, California Sybil, probably not too far away. He's actually drawn next to him in 10. Savvy Chic is another one that can show plenty of pace, and Harmony and Blessed does like to race forward. He did so last time before being beaten 4 lengths, but any amount of pace in the race, Paul. but there's others as well that can go forward and have gone forward.
Yeah, there could be a little bit of a speed battle. It depends what Derek wants to do on Harmony and Blessed, because he has drawn inside Matthew on Hero Star. But if those two decide to go at it, it'll be good to fast rather than the good pace. But the query a little bit is Red Lion, because he's been going forward in his races, Red Lion. But from back in trip, back to 1,200 metres, with all his pace underneath him, he's drawn 8. I just thought they might try and ride him a little bit quieter.
All right, so that's what the boys think is going to happen for the speed in race number 8. We're off to the replays now, and sorry to do this to you on Valentine's Day, Paul. Breaking your heart. California Civil's replay losing on protest.
Yeah, look, he did. He lost on protest here. Now, he's drawn 10, so he might have to work a little bit, but I think he can eventually get outside the leader. If he does, he's a winning chance once again. This was his second run back. He's now had 3. This will be his third run. He's probably at his peak fitness, and you can see him winning nicely here, but losing it on protest.
He did, and obviously the horse running on there was Lucky 8. He's actually run since, but has run well again.
Yeah.
What about Namjong Singh's? Now, we're going to talk about him because of Danny Shum's record, Nick, in February. He's probably not Danny's best on the night, but the horses are flying.
They are. They're going really well, aren't they? And look, he's a top trainer, isn't he? He's had some really lovely horses, obviously notably Romantic Warrior of late. But look, his strike rate is right up there with the best, and he's got plenty of chances, Paul. He's
drawn 1 now. He drew 10 at his last start and sort of had a bit of a rough run. Prior to that, he did draw inside and run 4. So I think he'll run okay. This horse, Namjong Singh's.
18 Palms does look to be the best of Denny's horses, though.
Yeah, I reckon he's a really good chance. 18 Palms, he's come on. I thought See You Again. I know he's a bit of a frustrating horse, See You Again, but he'll get his chance once again.
All right, so that's Danny's runs. 18 Palms, the best from the stable for you too, Nick,
I would imagine so. I think he can improve, yeah.
Yep, good draw for his second start. California Sybil, we stick with here. Nick, he's been back to the trial since that protest defeat, and there he is in those green and yellow colours. Up outside, Dynamic Spirit turning for home, and they actually dead heat in this trial.
Yeah, there's never much between them at the finishes there, whether it be a race or a trial. So dead heat, something we rarely see in a trial, I suppose. But look, he's trialled nicely. He's done it on the bridle. He's finished off, very strongly. So yeah, look, he's got to be a leading chance, and the £10 coming off the big weight pool's got to be a huge plus as well.
Yeah, exactly. And look, you can see him fighting to the line there. He's better on the turf as well, the source. So look, this is his third run back, so I think he's ready to win.
That's a good report for California Sybil. Some of the others, Paul, include Red Lion. Now, this is over at Sha Tin last time, over the 1400, behind Majestic Colour. He comes back in trip. He's no stranger to Happy Valley. He did run second behind Adios back in December.
Yeah, and that was over this 1,200 metres as well. He went forward that day. I just think with the pace underneath him, what if they ride him a little bit quieter, which I don't think will hurt the horse at all, Red Lion. So I've included him just on a minor line because he's been so consistent.
Yeah, look, I like him in this. I think he's got a really good chance. And I agree with you, Paul. Like, I think a race that's full of pace, you've got the right man on board in the shape of Hugh Bowman as well to take your time. And if they go really hard up front, this horse will be finishing off well.
All right, another good report for that horse, Red Lion. Now we move on, Nick, to Winning Icy. He does race well over the 1,200. He's wide turning for home. He speeds on. Science Patch has been going well. He did have that 10th going back 3 starts ago, but he's bounced right back from there.
He has, yeah. Look, he's done a good job. He's having his 4th run here at Happy Valley, and both of them coming out of this Jolly Ruler race last time. Look, Winning Icy had to turn wider into the straight than the winner. He's probably just got first run on him, but there's nothing between them at the line there, Paul. So he should certainly give it another good showing.
Yeah, definitely. He goes in as well. Barrier 6, and he'll get back because of this pace, I think, as well. But again, you can see the finish on him. He's got a very good finish.
Outside draw for Dinkum, Paul. Here he is running second. He was disappointing when 5th behind Flagship Warrior 2 runs ago. He's beaten 4 lengths here, but the horse that beats him is Victor, the winner, and it was quite a classy field in behind him too.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Look, he's had one start at Happy Valley. He did finish 5th, so look, he should be okay at the course. But from this wide draw, I just wonder where he's going to be in the run. So he didn't quite make it in for me.
Yeah, look, I give him a chance of sorts. I think he's certainly there to fill a minor line. He stays on a mark of 62, and that only run he's had at Happy Valley, he was far from disgrace. But since the cheek pieces have gone on, he certainly has stepped forward again.
And that was 1,000 metres behind California Deeply, that run at the Valley. Hero Star, Nick, finally broke through last time. It was down in grade, so he comes to Class 3 for the first time. He's going to be on the pace. He struggled to win one in Class 4, eventually did it. What about going up in grade and repeating it, though?
Very tough, I think, here, Mark, for a 7-year-old going up in grade. And look, we sort of know plenty about him, but this is a strong race, Paul, and I think he'll be found out on this occasion.
Yeah, I think he'll try and get to the front. Harmony and Bless might make it a little bit tough for him. And Yeah, I think he'll be leading at some stage, but I couldn't have him in this.
Okay, so question if he's going to see it out. And solid impact, Paul. He was scratched last time. That was on the 7th of December. He's been back to the trials at Happy Valley, and the trial was strong.
It was a nice trial, actually, and Zach's aboard as well. So, look, he's not out of it as well. He's drawn nicely in barrier number 3, and he should get a nice run. Again, he was just on the cusp. I just thought some of these other horses were a little bit fitter, but look, it was a nice enough trial.
It was a very nice trial. Interesting that Zach does stick with him, of course. He has a 10-start maiden here in Hong Kong, and 84 days since we last saw him, but he's put on a bit of weight as well, 13 pounds heavier than last time.
I like that as solid impacts trial at Happy Valley. It's a race where there are a few chances, Paul. There's a lot of speed, some wide draws for some of the favourite runners too. So who did you like?
Yeah, I was going to stick with California Sybil with that 10 pounds off. The trial was good. He's had the 3 runs now this season. He'll just need some luck from 10, and it's all going to be at the first 100, 200 metres, how much he has to work to try and get across. But he's on top. Lucky 8 really caught the eye, finishing off strongly for 4th at his last time, and then winning IC and Red Lion. 1, 6, 5 and 2.
Yeah, I've gone with 2 here, Red Lion. I think he's a decent chance in this race. With plenty of pace on, I reckon he'll be seen to good effect late running home. So we'll go with Red Lion on top, who was good to us last time, and he just beaten behind Majestic Colour. That form looks good. Lucky 8 in for second. I think he'll give his running here. Karis Teeton back on board a plus. California Sybil in as well. He's very much in good form. And Dinkum, number 9. He's a decent price for a horse who I think is steadily improving. 2, 6, 1 and 9.
That is all of the information for race number 8. We're going to take a break here on Racing to Win. After this, back to look at race number 9. Welcome back to Racing to Win as we preview Wednesday night's card at Happy Valley. It's a 9-race program, and we've seen race number 8 before the break, which means we're going to look at race number 9 now. It's over the 1,650 metres, and we've got Gallant Waking coming back to Happy Valley, a track that he knows well. Zone D's a 2-time course and distance winner. Comet Splendido from the 1,800 to the 1,600. Nimble Nimbus races well course and distance. Atomic Beauty first look at Happy Valley, and wears cheek pieces for the first time. Loyal Baby goes up £10 for that big win last start. Master Tornado ran third at his first try at the distance. Beauty Turn comes to Happy Valley for the first time and steps up in trip. And Star Contact was a winner over the 1,650 Nick in Class 4 on the 18th of January, and the first time we've seen him since that race. The speed for this down to the 1,650 and a round to go.
It is indeed. Look, possibly good to slow here. There's a great deal of early speed on show. Master Tornado, Master Tornado, I should say. He could well go forward from gate number 5. He did last time, so I expect him to be prominent. Look, Nimble Nimbus, I don't think will be too far away. He did travel prominently last time in the race won by Sword Point, so they might try and be a bit more positive with him. Atomic Beauty and Comet Splendido too, that have also shown a little bit of pace, but Atomic Beauty there, Paul, he's drawn wide, so he might just try and press forward and come across early.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case with Master Tornado, who once he stepped up to the 1,650, he led. Happy Daily will have to go back. Gift of Lifeline generally goes back, and Gallant Waking as well. So I think those 3 will be towards the rear. Zone D back towards them as well.
What about this horse, Paul? Loyal Baby. He pushed on when wide last week, but he does have an extra £10. Do you think they might be more cautious?
Yeah, I just thought they might try and take cover because you're right, he did push on last time. With Atomic Beauty, with the apprentice on, I thought he might try and sneak in behind him.
All right, so that's a look at the speed map, but we've got an interview to start this part of the program. Nimble Nimbus is the horse, and his rider is Hugh Bowden.
Hugh, Nimble Nimbus is a horse that you're going to ride on Wednesday night. It'll be the first time you've ridden him, but you have ridden him in a trial. Talk me through that.
His trial was really good. Happy Valley was over the 1,700 and he found a nice position, settled just in behind, but he breezed up the straight in really good order and through the line was strong. So he's a horse that could really figure in the finish here. It's barrier 10's not ideal. I would have loved to have drawn soft with him, but it is what it is. So we'll just try and, if we can just find a nice position without spending too much energy in the early stages, he'll be certainly make his presence felt at the end.
And I imagine, as you say, on that trial, visually, it looked very impressive. Did it feel as if this horse is ready and right to go and just, yeah, travel?
It certainly did. He was a bit on the bridle in the early stages, but then he, with a bit of cover, he got into a really smooth rhythm and came around the corner, and I showed him a bit of clear air, and he towed me through the line. So I think he can extend off that, and it's all going to be about getting a nice position from an awkward draw.
You'd be probably the best man to ask about the form. He was beaten by Sword Point last time out, so I know that's Sha Tin form, but coming back to Happy Valley, that certainly stands head and shoulders above some
I think
others.
so. I think it's... look, his form's good, and he's obviously a nice horse. It was clear in the trial, and Sword Point's come out, and I actually team up with him in the Champions Cup next week. So that form should stand up, you would think, and for this race in particular. But it's just about getting a smooth run in transit, really. If you can get that, he should win. But if he doesn't, he'll have to work for it.
He will indeed. He does look a strong chance. Away from him, obviously you mentioned Sword Point. You will team up with him in the Classic Cup. Have you had a chance to sit on him recently? How's he doing?
I did actually sit on him this morning, and he just went an easy half mile on the dirt on his own. He feels great. He looks in great order. So I'm excited about reuniting with him. And he's on a Derby campaign, and I think he can. I think he can figure next week in the Classic Cup. I think he's the right sort of horse for it. Back up to the 1800s a tick, and looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, we've seen the entries recently for both races. Looks an exciting couple of legs still to come in the series.
Certainly does. It's Beauty Eternal certainly opens things up from a Derby perspective. We won't see him in the Champions Cup, but it's certainly starting to piece together nicely the race.
Classic Cup coming up on the 26th of the month. We head back to Happy Valley for our first replay, Nick, and this is a horse you've always had some time for. Gallant Waking is his name. He's been over at Sha Tin racing in some stronger fields, but has a great record around the city circuit.
He does, doesn't he? 7 runs, 3 wins, 2 seconds and 1/3, only once outside of the top 4, this guy. And he's had terrible draws. He's had 12, 11, 13, 13 in his last 4. So he's been doing it really tough. Gets barrier 8 here, and Zach Purton riding in for the first time here, Paul. He's 3 winners from 13 for Francis Loy, so I think he's well suited here.
Yeah, definitely. And he's up to the 1650. He's only run once over the 1650, and he ran a placing. So I think 1650. I mean, he's been looking at the Classic 4-year-old series, isn't he? So it looks ideal for him.
What about Zach's rides, Paul? The first, at least 4 of them, no luck with the barrier draws, 12 or 11.
Yeah, he probably closed his eyes when he saw those ones, and 12 and 11 in the first 4. But look, Tronic Mighty gets back anyway, 18 Palms and Rattan Kingdom, which are 2 of his main chances. They've got really good draws.
They have, yeah, and I'm sure he'll be amongst the winners with that nice book of rides.
Solid Impact and Gallant Waking races 8 and 9. We move on now, Paul, to Loyal Baby. He did a lot of work this night and kept going, which was a surprise because Loyal Baby has been a little bit of a professional place getter. And Comet Splendido is not going quite as sharp as what he was, say, 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah,
look, he's going to have to work a bit, I thought, to get across Comet Splendido. Loyal Baby, a little bit of an awkward draw, barrier 7. He might try and get some cover midfield. He had a tough run last time and kept going, and maybe try and go on with it, because there isn't as much pace in this race, but I'm sure he'll try and get cover early, and he just held on, didn't he?
Yeah, won that off £5 lower, but does, as Mark touched upon, carry £10 more in this race, so it will be tough.
Here is Jumbo Legend. Nick, this was his first try of the 1650 and all but won the race, but Rising from Ashes, who ended up being victorious, that's him there, not in the field this week, was able to get through the centre and beat him. Master Tornado, as we saw on the speed map, possibly is going to get a really good run. Zone D races well at the trip, and a Happy Daily is wider out. He's following Jumbo Legend as we roll the replay. Yeah,
look, super run this from Jumbo Legend. Now, look, the winner in the yellow and pink, you could argue, has probably got first run. He's saved a bit more ground, whereas Jumbo Legend's had to come around runners. But he's closed off really strongly. He was a beaten favourite, yes, but Vincent Ho, the most successful rider at Happy Valley this season, Paul, with 31 winners. So it's worth keeping on side.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely goes in. And also, I'm going to put Master Tornado in, because that was his first start at 1650, and there was a big improvement for him.
All right, so good report for a couple of those horses there. We head back to the Valley now, Paul, but down in grade. This is the win by Star Contact. It was a funny run race 2 starts ago where Sunny Delight took off mid-race and he got run over by Perfect to Great. Well, he bounced right back here and never looked like getting beaten. I
thought it was a strong win, this, and the horse he bet, Flying Silver, has come out and won again since, so he's really franking that form. And in fact, Flying Silver's, this is the only time he's been beaten in his last 4 starts, so it was a strong win from Star Contact, and he won with plenty in hand, so I'm going to include him with the lightweight.
Yeah, look, I think he'll compete at this level. I'm not sure how far he'll go, but I think he's definitely a chance.
Karis Teaton takes over from Zach, who's riding Gallant Waking. Selections, Paul.
Yeah, Gallant Waking coming back to Happy Valley, 1650, looks good at this start of his campaign, or this time of his campaign. Star Contact, Master Tornado and Jumbo Legend, we've talked about those 3. 1, 12, 10 and 8.
Yeah, I'm going with the 4 here in this race. I think he's a decent chance. Nimble Nimbus, quite like that try. In fact, liked it a lot, and I think he's good enough to win this back at Happy Valley. Jumbo Legend in for second. Gallant Waking's a horse I've always been keen on. I think he can go well. And Star Contact down at the bottom will put him in for 4. 4, 8, 1 and 12.
That is race number 9, and the selections for race 8 earlier in the show also, which means there's another 7 races prior. Second of the Valentine's Day meetings coming up at Happy Valley, Paul, so we need some Cupid's love for the punters.
Exactly. Tronic Mighty, I quite like him, Tronic Mighty, in this race. Even though he's drawn wide, he'll get back, he'll run on. Wonder Years, further the better for him, and this is the ultimate trip, 2200 at Hong Kong. Fingers crossed with the lightweight. Nunchucks, the old boy, I think he can run pretty well. Star Recession looks like he's got the race sewn up with just the way the map is for him. 18 Palms, likewise. Righteous Aaron was very impressive at his last start as well.
And you can find all of those races on the website, hkjc.com. Click on audio and video. Near the end of the show, and you know, boys, what that means. A long shot, a best, and a play. 18
Palms for me. I think he can, the stable's red hot. Zach Purton aboard, barrier 1. And I think he can get the perfect run. And Nunchucks, we'll do the old boy here. He's currently a double figure price. Hopefully that holds up. Drawn nice in barrier 5 was a good run from him last time. And the play, Rattan Kingdom, Righteous Aaron, and Son Pak Fu, 1, 2, 10.
Yeah, best bet for me on Wednesday evening comes up in the last, number 4, Nimble Nimbus, for that man there, Hugh Bowman, who's been in great form. I think he could have a good evening as well, and this horse looks to be a strong chance. Long shot, race 7, number 6, Flaming Passion, reunited with Matthew Chadwick, who's got a good record on the horse, and I expect him to go well off a lower mark. And the play, race 5, numbers 1, 2 and 6 for me.
We'll go with a lucky 8 best draw in just 3 starts. It will be on Wednesday night at Happy Valley. There's a lot of pace in the race. Karras can just sit back and then charge through late and be too good for them. Momentum Galaxy's a well-rated horse, a little bit like Lucky 8. The tempo of the race should be suiting him. He's won 3 times over the 1,000 metres. And the play, race number 8, California Sybil, Winning Icy, and Lucky 8, 1, 5 and 6 in AQQP. That is a look at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Then we're back to Sha Tin on the weekend, Nick.
We certainly are looking forward to that, but good competitive card Wednesday night, Paul.
Yeah, there's an interesting Cordyceps 6 coming back to the 1,400 metres after trying the 1,600 metres last start in the 4-year-old series.
And there's a Class 1 race as well, Beauty Joy, etc.
Yeah, but that's the same race. Beauty Joy's in there as well, along with the Golden Scenery, Blaze Warrior, Healthy Happy, and Cordyceps 6.
Those fields will be out on Thursday, but we will see you at Happy Valley for the first of 9 at 6:45.